Hi, it's Angie with News OK. I'm out here at the Oklahoma History Center with George Lang, who is one of our entertainment writers. And the song Do You Realize by the Flaming Lips has just become Oklahoma's official state rock song. All right, George, tell us what happened.
Well, it started out pretty simply. I mean, Dr. Bob Blackburn from the Oklahoma History Center made opening comments. Jill Simpson from the Oklahoma Film and Music Office also did, introducing Governor Brad Henry, who received a standing ovation. And they basically brought the band up and they signed this thing in an executive order declaring it the official Oklahoma rock song. There was a lot of joy here. I mean, there were a ton of people who showed up, and the balconies were just filled with people, and so there was a lot of support. And despite what Wayne Coyne characterized as some of the what he said silliness that happened last week, it all came through, and so there were a lot of happy people here today.
I know it, and they even called the Oklahoma governor, Brad Henry, one of the coolest governors in the United States.
That's right. That's right. He's been getting a lot of press just in the last couple of days. He's been on BBC World Service, and then of course MSNBC last night. So yeah, he's been getting a lot of attention for this.
I know it. So Oklahoma now has an official state rock song, Do You Realize by the Flaming Lips. Thanks, George.
Thank you.
Well, I don't begrudge anybody pursuing anything that they want to do. I mean, I live in Oklahoma simply because I like it. I mean, I'm not sacrificing, and I'm not doing it as a symbol. If it becomes a symbol, I think that's great. But I really am living over there on 13th and Blackwell. It's where I grew up because I like it, and because my family is here and my friends are here. And the fact that the Flaming Lips come from Oklahoma has really, for me, has really been a great benefit. There is something about the way we're perceived and the way our music is perceived. The fact that we come from Oklahoma almost makes the whole thing like it was, a made-for-TV sort of movie. And I couldn't have done that on my own. You know what I mean? This is like Evel Knievel came from Butte, Montana, and Santa Claus comes from the North Pole, and the Flaming Lips come from Oklahoma. It's like you made that up and wrote it in a storybook. And so, for me, that's all wonderful. But if it's not wonderful for you, you should pursue whatever it is you want to do. I think people, if you leave Oklahoma for whatever the reason, that doesn't make you any less. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be perceived that people who, especially musicians and entertainers, if they want to leave and go somewhere else, they should pursue whatever they want to do. I know I am. No one restricted me and said, Wayne, you should do things this way. And I think I'm benefiting from that sort of thinking. So, no, I'd say people, you should do just like I do. Do whatever you like. Do what you want. In art and music, if you're not doing what you like and what you want, what good is the world getting out of that? I mean, I'm lucky. I sing about the things I really believe in.
Tell us about Do You Realize? Tell us a little bit about how you wrote the song.
Well, when you write, I mean, we write a lot of songs, and you don't really know is one, why one song is going to become more significant than another. I know when I wrote it, I played it for Stephen right away. We had a batch of songs that we were getting ready for the end of the Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots record. That's what the governor was talking about, And I think when I played it for him, he liked that line at the end of that the rhyming things. Are you all right there?
Yeah,
he liked the line where I said, that everyone someday will die, thinking that, I don't know how many other groups or singers would want to sing a line like that, but certainly the Flaming Lips would sing a line like that and it not be necessarily a cynical punch to people's faces, So I thought, well, that's good, because I didn't know if that was a good line or a bad line or if I should change it or what. And then we recorded it in kind of a hurry, not knowing if we were, what really to do to the arrangement or whatever. And we were at the end of one of our sessions up at Dave Fridman's studio in New York, and we sort of, put it together sort of quickly, and then we had to sort of move on. And a lot of people around us are interested in our music as we make it and how it's coming along, because they know we change things and go back and redo them. But everybody that heard it was really intrigued, like, oh, that's a really great that's going to be your song. And I think as we went, the more that we, the more we got comfortable with what the song meant and the more people heard it. Like I said, I was in Arizona just over the weekend, And there was a couple came up to me and said they used it at their wedding. There was a couple that came up to me and said they used it at their father's funeral. And there was a couple that came up to me and said when their baby was going to be born in a couple of weeks, that was going to be the song that they put on everybody's MySpace and stuff to announce it. So I think any songwriter in the world, if they stumbled upon a song that did that sort of thing. I've always talked about the song Happy Birthday as being one of the greatest songs I've written because people get to use it and so in a sense I think Do You Realize for us it's better than we are. I mean, I wrote it thinking, oh, it's fun, but you quickly move on to the next one, or it's but when something like this happens to a song, I just stand back and say, wow, look at it go. Look at it. It really has taken on kind of a life that's even bigger and better than we are.
Did you ever imagine it would be Oklahoma State rock song?
If it would have come up, if someone would have thought, there are frankly, there aren't state rock songs. I mean, I go all around America and people are like, I wish we had a state rock song. And I'm like, well, we do in Oklahoma. And even when it came up for the vote, late last year, I would be doing interviews, for people in England. They said, do you think you'll win? And I thought, I don't know. I mean, I thought, I suppose that we could win, but I thought, I don't know why we would. I mean, there's a lot of people here that don't know who we are or whatever. And then to find out that we won by such a big margin, I mean, that's humbling. It's great, and I don't know. And then to have all this controversy happen and everybody come to my rescue, I mean, it really is. I mean, that's even better, don't you think? I mean, it could have all happened quietly over here, and we all could have had, donuts and coffee in the parking lot or whatever. But to have it be kind of like this, I think it's even better. We even win even more. We win, and we get to really say what we think. And
An honor for you.
It was anyway, though. I mean, my life here in Oklahoma, everywhere I go, really for a long time, especially artists and musicians, have always come up to me and said, Wayne, the fact that you live here, people will come by my house. Every week I have someone that stops by my house and leaves me a note. And I mean, a lot of people don't have a choice. They have to live here, and they want to make art, and they want to do music. And I think people will look at me and say, well, Wayne, you have a choice. You could do whatever. And the fact that you stay here, if I've encouraged them or inspired them or helped them or relieved them of thinking, if you're really a musician, would you live in Oklahoma? And they'd say, well, Wayne from the Flaming Lips lives right around the corner. Sure, why not? If I've done that, I've not done it on purpose, but if I've done that just through being the way I am, well, that's a great thing. Because I know how hard it is. It's easy to be a successful group. You're making money and you're in magazines and even doing things like this. It's easy to believe in yourself. But there's a lot of people who won't get that or can't get that, and they suffer, and they struggle with it in their minds. Should I pursue doing this music and doing this art? Who really cares? And it's a struggle. So I think these sorts of things, it speaks to people who's saying, if the Flaming Lips can have the state rock song of Oklahoma, I think it really is true that anything is possible. It really is.